Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so excuse me. So it's Thursday, November 14th, 2024, regular planning meeting, 6 o'clock. Be it resolved that the meeting be called to order and that the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Pachkan moves. Can I have a second? Council Bichetti seconds it. We're down to number 3, addendums. There is a couple addendums that we have. Oh, sorry. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Hearing none? Thank you. Okay. So next we go down to number 3. There's a couple addendums to the agenda. So be it resolved that council accept the following additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda. Add 6.2, addendum roof overhang resolution. Move to in-camera 15.7, Manitoba Growth Renewal and Opportunities for Municipalities Program. And move 15.6, sponsorship requests to hear after the public hearing is over, to just before item number 7. Could I have a mover for it, please?
I'll move.
Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Council Pachkan seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Go down to number 4. We have some opening remarks. Council wishes to thank you for taking an interest in what is happening in your municipality by attending this evening. The purpose of this public hearing is to receive representation from the applicant and any persons who wish to make them concerning what is proposed. During each hearing, we will hear first from the applicant, then from those present who wish to make representation. Starting with anyone who wants to speak in favor of the proposal, followed by those who oppose or object to the proposal. At the end of these presentations, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond. If anyone intends to make a presentation for any of the hearings scheduled for this evening, please ensure that your name and contact information are recorded on appropriate sign-in sheets. If you have already signed in, please do so. If you haven't already signed in, please do so now so you have an opportunity to speak to council. Applicants must also sign in. So you need to see our administration over there if you haven't signed in. So persons speaking must address the chair. If they have questions that they think the applicant or administration should answer, they should raise them in their presentation to the chair. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to questions and when other presentations are finished. We have many people here who have taken the time to come out and have registered to speak. It is our goal to hear from each and every one of you tonight. I would ask that each person be as concise as possible in their comments. If your position or information that you want to share with council is the same as other speakers who have spoken before you, you can indicate this by identifying the key points of your agreement. If your hearing is not complete today, whether because we run out of time or further information is need to be provided, then we will adjourn the hearing. If we adjourn, we will tell you at this hearing the date for the continued public hearing. There will be no other notice given to the date. Even if all representations are completed today, we may not be making our decision today. Until a decision is made, there may be no further communication of any kind with council about the proposal. When council makes its decisions, all persons who made a representation at the hearing will be notified. When council makes its decision on variation application, it is final. There is no appeal. When council makes its decisions on subdivision applications, only applicant or the Minister of Municipal Government may appeal this decision. We'll now go down to 5.1.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
6.2, please.
Oh, 6.2?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. 6.2? Okay, yes. Whereas rural
The
municipality,
addendum. Did you want the planner to speak to this?
I gotta open
Oh,
it.
so this is related to the first item, though?
Yes.
Yeah,
You need the resolution.
but it's, so it's this application that's coming back to council?
Mhm.
We talk about this first.
Mr. Mayor, the planner would like to speak to the public hearing item first. I apologize.
First, okay, no, that's all right. It's understandable. Okay. Yep. 5.1, be it resolved that this meeting of council recessed for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please? I'll move. Councilor Campbell moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, 5.1, I'll ask the planner to speak, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. That item you guys were just looking at, it's kind of stemming from this variance. So I thought maybe I'd go through the variance first, and then you guys can have a healthy discussion on the other pieces.
Okay.
Could you go to the first slide for me, please? I think it's just a clip. There we go. Okay, so this is variance number 95 of 2024. It's for 10 Park Lane. You started to deal with this last month, and then wanted some more information in terms of the timelines of what kind of happened with this whole project, and how come the need for a variance wasn't caught earlier. So if you recall, this was to reduce an interior side yard setback to allow an existing built single-family dwelling to remain. The next one. Thank you. So it was to reduce the side yard setback from 4 feet down to 1.9 feet. So I had to look through the building department's side of things, and this is what I found out. So really, what we're talking about here, it's not the wall of the building, it's not the eave of the building, it's actually the canopy at the front entrance that projects into the side yard. And this is where that other resolution that's on your agenda kind of comes into play. So as you note up there, the bylaw as it currently exists does allow for some things to project into a required setback yard. Eaves can project in, fireplaces, in some cases you can have air conditioning units, those types of things. A canopy is not listed as the items that can project into a side yard. So that's where this variance stems from. You go to the next one. So just as a refresher, just so we know what we're talking about, just a couple of images on what is an eave versus what is a canopy, because it's going to get a little confusing in a minute here. So really, an eave is that part of the roof structure that jets out from the wall of a building, whereas a canopy is usually a protective overhang, usually at an entrance or an exit of a building. Next one, please. Thank you. So for this property we're looking at, this is the subject property. You can go to the next one. And this is the site plan that was provided with the building location certificate. The building was built, and then the applicants asked for a zoning memorandum, provided a building location certificate provided by the land surveyor to ensure that everything was built as per what was approved from a zoning perspective. And you'll note that the surveyor noted there is a 1.9 feet setback from the canopy, which is at the front entrance. Go to the next one. So here's the building drawings on the top that was submitted and approved by the building department. And below is the image that I took a snapshot of the house. It's the same thing. What was built was what was approved. But what was missed by the building department is that the eave is allowed to project, but that portion of the house that looks like an eave but is actually at the very front, that's technically part of the canopy. And remember, a canopy is not listed in your zoning bylaw as something that's allowed to go into the side yard. Go to the next one. So in terms of a timeline, just a bit of an overview of when applications were made, when inspections were done, and the variance and all you can see there. And somewhere around February of last year, when the building department was reviewing this, that's when they should have recognized this issue. But there's sort of a practicality thing here. When you're dealing with a house like we're dealing with this, the truss system is all one system. This is not a canopy as we see on some other custom homes where you actually have a physical canopy, separate piece that's projecting out away from the house. This is all part of the roof system. However, the limitations of your bylaw forced us to have to deal with this same roof system in two different manners, which is a little bit odd. Go to the next one. I do want to point out, though, that in 2022, the RM did go through a process of updating or doing some housekeeping items to your zoning bylaw to get rid of inefficiencies kind of like this. This wasn't brought up at that time. Maybe it should have been. I'm not sure if council wanted this addressed or if it was even brought up at that time. But that probably would have been a good time to do a quick little amendment to your bylaw if you agree with me on the next couple of things. So, like I said, there's an issue here where you can have, you can't have canopies project into a side yard, but you have this issue here where it's the same darn roof line. It doesn't really make practical sense, but the way the bylaw is worded, we're sort of handcuffed in this as staff. We're not allowed to make that distinction. Coincidentally enough, other things that are allowed to project is the trough system, the gutters. That's also not listed in your zoning bylaw. Technically, those aren't allowed to project into the side yard as well if we want to get right down to the definitions that's outlined in your zoning bylaw. So I would say your zoning bylaw is a little bit out of date. If I was redoing a zoning bylaw and council was okay with the roof type of structure projecting a little bit into the side yard, I would probably, instead of saying eave as a term, I'd probably use something along the lines of a roof overhang or similar types of structures. That'd be a little bit more all-encompassing to allow for that flexibility. So what we've suggested here, if council wants to go this route and allow for these types of situations to just be approved by our office, is we know that you're undergoing a bit of a housekeeping and a bit of an update to your zoning bylaw anyways, right now. We'd suggest you make this as part of that update. But in the interim, maybe passing a resolution, just giving us as staff the indication that you're okay with this idea moving forward, so we don't have to hold up permits or we don't have to ask applicants to come from what could be argued as an unnecessary variance in this case, because it is all part of the same roof structure. So that's that resolution that's on 6.2 of your docket here. And if council is okay with this type of resolution, I've talked to my executive director on this particular file, and she's quite all right with striking the file out and giving a refund, because it seems like it's really a common sense thing that we're down to technicalities of definitions in your zoning bylaw. So I'll open it back up to you, Mr. Mayor, if you got some questions on that.
Okay. Council Bichetti?
Well, first of all, thanks for the clarity there. That's why at
Yeah.
the last meeting I brought up going, how was this missed? Because it is all the complete roof system of the house. You know, not like the pictures you showed with, you know, a separate projection for just over the front stairs or something like that. This is through the whole entire, and that's why I was so adamant on how was it missed in the inspections.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
that's a
makes
great
a lot
question.
more sense now.
And it seems a little bit odd that if you run down the wall of the building, this part it's an eave, it's an eave, it's an eave, and all of a sudden you go, no, now it's a canopy based on your definitions,
Well, yeah, that's why I drove by
Right.
it, because I didn't understand. It's a straight line.
as did I.
There's no there's no separation to it.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you, sir.
thank you.
Council Paxton, you got any questions?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the explanation from the planner. It definitely clears it up for me, and, you know, I see now that council is able to make the distinction in this case, and definitely would be supporting the resolution for a housekeeping item here.
Councilor Clyburn, you have any questions?
Yeah, to the planner, you have to replace the term E with roof overhang and similar features. What would a similar feature be?
I think like what I was talking about with like the trough or the gutter systems, things like that.
Okay.
Does that make
So a
sense?
canopy in itself, a separate canopy in the front would be treated differently then. So let's say they have this is a continuous, it's continuous with the roof.
Yes.
But let's do a separate overhang, then that would constitute, basically we'd have to do a variance, is that right?
That's how I would see it, yes. And we have seen some designs of homes that have these separate architectural features that are like a canopy unto its own. I think it's different than this type of situation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think we're just, there's a few mistakes here, and let's just rectify it with this, resolution. So thank you for putting that together, and also thank you for going to the executive director and getting a huge fund for the applicant. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Councillor.
Councilor Campbell, you have any?
No, it's pretty, no, I do appreciate the clarification on that.
Yep. Okay, so then, the next, just to get some clarification here, so the next step is I'll speak to our MLO. Do we now just close the public hearing, and then do we go to 6 point to do the resolution, or do you wanna wait till the end, or?
Because we are in the public hearing, we should hear from the applicant and those present who wish to speak to it, and then council can close the public hearing.
Oh, speak to this specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go to the planner.
Sure, from last meeting, from the October 24th, when this was first heard,
There.
we have Jerry Belinkie registered against.
Okay. Do you wanna speak to it?
Speak to this?
Only
Yes.
two new items.
Only two new items.
Jerry Belinkie,
Yep.
3x4 Gardenview Drive.
Okay.
Okay, I'm against this, and, you know, I heard what the planner said, but, you know, we have a situation in this municipality that we stretch the buildings as close to the property lines, and then we come in for a variance every time. And it's over and over, and we keep saying we're gonna straighten it out. Never gonna straighten it out if we keep giving variances. Now, we always, at other meetings, we say, you're supposed to do due diligence. All right? You're a builder, this is your building, you're supposed to do it. Now, it's nothing, right? Oh, well, it's just a mistake. Well, they're all mistakes, that's why we're here. But we don't know if it's intentional or not intentional. The buildings are getting bigger, the footprints are bigger, the green space is less and less, and we keep coming in for variances. Now, when is council gonna enforce their bylaws? Right now, that's the bylaw. It's not like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything because it's convenient, right? But it's a law, so why aren't we enforcing it? It's up to you. You're the council, you're the people that were hired by the people to look after the municipality. You're supposed to follow the rules, like everybody else. So, oh, it's inconvenient, it's not. It's a mistake, correct it. Or we're gonna just keep getting it over and over. So you decide.
So I guess I just speak to is that council has rejected already some variances in this last term. And I
Well-
think it shows that there's a willingness that they are becoming more and more firm on the bylaw. So I guess what I hear from our planners, it does make sense. We're gonna have a discussion on it if we'll be able to pass the resolution, but we do appreciate your comments.
I understand that, but the variances that that I've been at the meetings, that I understand that were allowed, were really new buildings and way oversized. So, I mean, it wasn't even it's not, we've had variances for cantilevers. They were passed over and over. Again, I see. So anyhow, we can make up your mind.
Yeah, I just wanna make a comment. You said, about doing your due diligence. Well, the planner did put up the list of, when inspections were done. So the due diligence was done on here. And I don't know if you've gone to see the home.
No, I
If
didn't.
you run from the front to the back of the home, it's not oversized for the lot. It does not, if you look at it on the side eaves, it's fine. It's the way it was, I guess, written, because it's all the complete roof structure of the home. And if that front entrance on the home was closed in, well, that would have been called part of the home and there would have been no canopy. It's just on how it was presented or worded in the I guess, resolution, in the bylaw.
I just have to say that if it was a nothing, we wouldn't be here. So we're here, it's written up, it is something. Don't say it's nothing, otherwise it wouldn't be written up. Well,
Actually.
Well, you're
I'm-
saying
I-
if this happened, it
No,
would be okay.
I'm
Well,
not,
sure.
you are actually, but the planner has stated that there is the way the wording is in the bylaw, it doesn't fall in on this one, because it's not a separate canopy structure, like on some homes where there's a roof on a roof with a canopy that's coming over. This is the complete structure of the home.
Correct.
So we are looking at case by case. To say that we keep letting it go, that's maybe your opinion, but that's not what's happening by this council. We've denied quite a few. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to argue with you. I'm not here to argue.
Any more opposed?
Also registered in opposition from the last meeting is Gurpinder Dinsal.
Is he present? No? Okay, carry on.
That's everyone that's registered, unless anyone has any comments about, items brought up this evening.
Yeah, is, anyone for information only, or just, no, none? Okay, any others? You asked for comments, new comments? Or- Okay. You got one? Okay, by all means. Only speaking to new items.
Eleanor Link, 1045 Toshak Road.
Okay,
I did sign up, and I think we were told that if there was new information, we
Yes.
could comment.
yes, right.
I'm not opposed to this as it was explained. But I would like to politely say that public hearings are for listening by the council, not for arguing with those who express their opinions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, so now we'll close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Council Patrick Can moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Council Campbell seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Go to 6.2.
Yeah, if they want, council could do a couple different options. If council wanted to approve this variance, you could do that if you're okay with the way things are, or if council passes the resolution, our office would view it as one and the same.
Okay. Can I ask council what?
Yeah, I'm okay with just dealing with the resolution from 5.1.
Yep.
Let's just go
Yep.
right to the resolution.
Yeah,
I would say either way, Mr. Mayor, if council approves the resolution of 5.1, or the other resolution as we've suggested, my director has still said that they're willing to do a refund, because it seems like this variance probably should not have been needed, so if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yep.
so you want it?
Let's continue on with the item.
Oh,
Continue on with the
okay.
item.
Could we perhaps do 6.2 first and then do the variance?
I didn't hear the question.
She wants to do 6.2 first,
Could
but
we do 6.2 first and then vote on the variance?
And they won't need to, though.
we don't need to do that. We can just proceed with the item.
Either way, it's gonna work out the same.
Yeah. Or
Well, you have legal, you have a legal, stipulation first that this is your policy, and then you do the variance to follow that legal policy.
Okay.
It's fine. I
If
guess.
you're doing it
Do
backwards,
do
you're just
6.2.
approving it and
Just
then
get
putting it
6.2.
in.
Just do
Okay.
6.2.
Okay, we'll do 6.2. Whereas the rural municipality of West St. Paul
Go ahead, go
Okay,
ahead.
so, Whereas the rural municipality of West St. Paul is currently undertaking a review of the West St. Paul zoning bylaw to, in part, clarify regulations. Be it resolved that the zoning bylaw review includes a proposed refinement of section 324.1.2 to replace the term eave with overhang, roof overhang and similar features. Be it further resolved that until the zoning bylaw review project is completed, section 3.24-1.2 of the zoning bylaw and eave and any roof overhang or similar features will be dealt with in the same manner.
So moved.
Could I call, Councillor
I'll second.
Clyburn moves, Councillor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, so that takes us down to 5.1. I guess now that becomes, guess I'll just,
5.1.3.
wait, 5.1.3. Okay. Whereas an application of variance 95/24 was received for the property located at 10 Park Lane to reduce the interior side yard setback in order to allow an existing single-family dwelling to remain on the subject property in the RS Service Residential Zone from required 4 feet to a minimum of 1.9, and whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation both for and against the application. Therefore, it be hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul hereby approves variance 95/24 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacement, or additions would require a new variance approval. A variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under section 1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move.
Council Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder? Council Campbell seconds it. Any comments?
I got a comment.
Comments? Go ahead, Councilor Bichetti.
Just to the planner, so with that resolution we did, does this not make this null? Because you did say that you will be speaking with the manager that you will be refunding this, and so that's why I was wondering why we still have to do this.
I would agree, but if you want to just cover all your bases, you can always vote on this
Okay.
resolution. Yeah.
Just
Yep.
to be clear.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Anyone else have any comments, questions? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Carried. Okay, now we're down to 5.2.
Oh, that's been canceled.
Be it resolved that this meeting of
Mr.
council.
Mayor?
Oh, sorry.
This application has been withdrawn.
Oh, this one has been withdrawn? Okay,
I believe we got an email from the applicant just this evening requesting that it be withdrawn.
okay, so that means we go down to 5.3.
Clear this up here.
There you go. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, maybe
Yes.
just explain, for anybody that was here for, to speak about that one variance, maybe just let them know that it's, they don't have to stake now if
Use
they.
the address.
Yeah, do you want to, what was the address? I'm
Sure,
sorry.
that was for 837 Grassmere Road for detached accessory building.
Okay, is anyone here about that resolution this evening? Okay, so it's been withdrawn, we won't be talking about it, so. Okay, anyone else? None? Okay. Thank you very much, Councilor Campbell. Okay, so now we'll go to 5.3, opening the public hearing. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding the public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Bichetti, sorry, Councilor Patican moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, I'll direct now to the planner, if he can proceed with it.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is for 4477 Main Street, one of the cemeteries that we see along Main Street. It's a variance to increase the intensity of an existing legal nonconformity on the property. So specifically what the applicant wants to do is construct 18 new columbarium structures within the cemetery. And your zoning bylaw right now doesn't allow for cemeteries. It's not listed at all in your zoning bylaw. However, it was at the time when the cemetery was established. So under the Planning Act, this would be a legal non-conforming, or sometimes people refer to as its grandfathered. It can stay there. Now, you cannot increase the intensity of a legal nonconformity. It has to remain as is. However, there is a section in the Planning Act, Section 92, that says if someone does want to increase it, they first have to obtain a variance from council. So they need the okay from council to do anything additional on the property. So that's why we're here today. So here's the subject property. I think we're a little bit familiar with it, and a bit of a site plan. I believe the applicant has a better probably site plan of what's going on here. And as I said, they want to construct some new columbariums on the property over the next coming months and years. Just a couple photos of sort of what we're talking about, and that if council did want to approve this, it'd be subject to just the two standard requirements that we put on these. One, that it's only for what's been proposed. If they want to do anything more than what's been proposed, they have to come back to council, as well as they have to obtain all required permits from our office as well as the municipality if that's required. That's all I have on this, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, is the applicant here? Oh, yes, by all means, come on up.
Evening, Council. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you today. My name is Andre Friesen. I'm a planner with Landmark Planning and Design. So I'm here to present on behalf of Memorial Gardens Limited related to the variance that Mr. Eno just described. I've got a brief presentation, so I'll just quickly hop into it here. The property is known as 44777 Main Street, or the Glen Eaton Cemetery, and it encompasses about 100 acres. This property has been used as a cemetery dating back to the early 1900s, when it was known as the Riverside Cemetery. In 1959, Memorial Gardens obtained the property to continue its use as a cemetery. And fast forward to today, over the past 3 years, there's been approximately 1,300 interments. They average about 450 a year. Next slide. So Glen Eden is located smack dab in the middle of a group of cemeteries. To the north, there's the B'nai Abraham Cemetery and the All Saints Cemetery, and then to the south, there's the Holy Ghost Roman Catholic Cemetery, and then the Holy Family Cemetery. Next slide. Interestingly enough, Glen Eden is the only cemetery in the area that has taxable assessment. They're assessed at $5.2 million. All the other cemeteries there are shown. This was cut and paste from tax assessment information. There are some exemptions, but it's the only one that has high assessment value. Flip to the next slide here. The only two are partially taxable, and they generate about $330,000 in assessment compared to 5.2 million. So quite a difference there. Just wanted to bring that up for council's for some background information for council. Next slide. So our involvement with this application started earlier this year and was brought to us from a local architect that had assisted with a similar variance application back in 2020 to allow for an expansion to one of their buildings on the site. This time around, when Glen Eden reached out to the architect related to the new structures being proposed today, it was recommended to the architect that they pursue what's known as a blanket variance to cover future development at the property. This is something that the architectural firm typically doesn't deal with, so they retained us to assist with this application. Next slide. So when this was brought to us to pursue a blanket variance, a variety of buildings and structures were proposed, as they are soon to be required based on annual interments. So these structures included 30 freestanding columbariums, 7 freestanding mausoleum structures, 2 freestanding niche/mausoleum structures, and 2 future building additions. So you can see on the site plan, there is a development proposed kind of throughout the entire cemetery site. Next slide. Based on discussions with the RM, we've scaled this back to what is being proposed to address imminent need, focusing on 2 smaller types of structures instead at 2 specific locations. So as mentioned, over the past 3 years, the cemetery has accommodated over 1,300 interments, and about 450 per year. So to be prepared for additional interments and based on these average numbers, a total of 2 dome columbariums are proposed. That's the structure at the bottom right-hand corner there. They accommodate up to 144 niches combined. Niches are where the remains would go. And then 16 regular columbarium structures, and that's the photo above there, which can accommodate up to 384 niches. Next slide. So this photo illustrates one of the proposed locations for the additional columbariums. This was taken last week. So as can be seen, it's a well-maintained park-like setting. What can also be seen is that based on family preferences and the potential for family members to attain additional niches to accommodate close loved ones beside them, some of the niches may be empty because they're often purchased in groups or they're reserved for future family members. So you will see spots that, even though they don't have a little plaque up on them, they have been earmarked to be used in the future. So with that, I think it's a fairly simple application. Otherwise, we respectfully ask that council consider approving the variance to allow for the proposed columbariums at the cemetery. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I really appreciate the opportunity to present to you today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, Councillor Patrick?
Not at this time, thank you.
Councillor Kleiber, you got any questions? None? Councillor Campbell, any questions?
Just one, I haven't, I've been to the site before, so these columbariums, people aren't buried in them, but this is where people, like, there's plaques with their name on them, but that's about, the extent of it.
Yeah, they're actually not that large of a structure. They're a couple feet by a couple feet. Each one accommodates about 24, like the, because it's just on my screen right now, but each one accommodates about 24 interments.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just was curious.
It's a more compact form and better use of the land over the long term.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I just wanted clarification. Thank you.
Councillor Shay? No questions. So I guess I got some questions. So you want to put in, how many interments? Not interments, niches? What's the total number?
The total number would add up to 528, and based on how the structures are designed, that would kind of be within kind of that year-ish of what, year and a bit-ish of what they could accommodate based on that 450 interments a year.
So this is probably only for 1 year, these 500? That's
They're hoping it won't be, depending on how it's all spread out, because there are different ways of interring people at the facility. They have within that building that was the variance was approved for back in 2022. There's an actual building with displays within the building where people are interred there. There's also ground burials that are still an option, but generally speaking, a lot of people go towards these niches because they are more sustainable option and an opportunity for families to locate in one area within the cemetery.
So the 1,300, the 400 per year, that includes both burials and, I'm gonna say.
That's right, and it depends on what's been reserved, kind of thing. They never know exactly how it's gonna play out.
Okay. Okay, no, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's your question. Okay, that's all for now, I guess. Unless anyone's got any questions. Did you have any further questions, Councilor Patrick?
Nope.
No? Okay, good.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
In support of Norma Albert.
Okay. Sorry, okay, Mark, keep going.
Also in support is Eleanor Link.
Nothing? You got any comments? No, nothing. Okay, go ahead.
And Ash Toes in support.
Yes, okay, thank you.
No one's registered against. For information, we have Jerry Belinky.
Okay,
So change it to 4.
for it, okay. Anyone else?
That's all that's registered.
Okay, good. Any final questions? No? Okay, so now we'll go down to 5.3.2 to close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council will hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Council Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Council Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, carried. Okay, so now we go down to 3.3. Whereas the application for variance 9824 was received for the property located at 4477 Main Street to increase the intensity of the legal non-conforming use in order to allow the construction of 18 columbariums structures on the subject property in the A4 agriculture zone. And whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation both for and against the application. Therefore be it hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul hereby approves variance 9824 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new variance approval. And 2, applicant owner obtain all required permits for the Red River Planning District and the municipality. If required, a variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under section 1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application was received before the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Paxton moves. Can I have a
Second.
seconder? Council Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Thank you very much. Down to 5.4, open public hearing. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recessed for the purpose of holding the public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. So now we are down to 5.4.1. I'll have the planner speak to it.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is for a variance at 21 Prairie Sage Street, and it's to reduce the rear yard setback for a house, actually specifically for an attached deck that the applicant wishes to construct. Next one, please. So it's the applicant wishes to construct an attached deck onto the house. I believe it's 14 by, or maybe 12 by 18. And the rear setback is 25 feet for the house, and they propose to have 16.3 feet. But remember, when you attach a deck, then it becomes part of the whole primary structure. So, next one, please. Here's the subject property air photo, rather a bit of an old air photo. Next one. And the site plan that the applicant has provided showing the house as well as where the deck will be constructed, along with some stairs coming off the deck. Okay. And a couple of sort of 3D renderings showing the open air deck that they're proposing to construct onto the back of their house. Okay. And should council wish to approve this, similar to the last application, there's just 2 conditions that we would suggest. The standard ones of it's limited to what's been proposed. So if they want to change anything here, make the deck bigger or whatnot, they'd have to come back to council, as well as they have to obtain all required permits from our office and the municipality if required. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is the applicant here?
Got a question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's no blow up of the aerial here. Is this backing onto that school site?
Oh, I don't know.
It backs onto a park.
To a park.
Onto a park? Okay, I just saw there was nothing on one little bit of pictures.
Okay, Councilor Campbell?
So I have a question. How could we, why is this is only becoming forward because the deck is considered to be part of the structure?
Yeah.
So is this something, when we're looking at our bylaw, that we're gonna clean up?
I'm not doing that, but I would hope
Okay.
so.
Okay,
If decks are under a certain height, I believe if they're under 2 feet, then there's an exemption, so, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's something for you guys to have a look at.
Sure, okay, thank you.
Makes sense.
Constable Paxton, no? Constable Clyber, you had any questions?
So is it, a variance because it's attached to the house?
That's exactly right.
I think that we have already, injected one of these and made some other suggestions of how to meet that, so, I have a hard time approving this. I think if you wanna get that big, you should get a bigger lot, but that's just my opinion. We'll hear what the public has to say. Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, can I just get clarity on
Yep.
how high
Go
is this one off the, sorry, I blow my picture up and it just blows right out, so.
I'm sorry, it's fuzzy on mine too. Maybe the applicant can speak to that.
Okay.
He comes
thank you.
forward.
Is the applicant here? Okay, go ahead, come forward. State your name, address, please.
Right. I'm Ido Budari. I'm from 21 Prairie Sage.
Okay,
Thank you for this opportunity, Council. So, the property I acquired was a show home,
Okay.
right? So that's the only one that doesn't have a deck, and I think the way it's built, there's not much space anyway to the back where you have the park. So literally, I don't have a deck, right? I've got little children, so I obviously need a deck, and that's the minimum that we think could fit in there. So I don't know how it works because, of course, I'm all new to this Canada thing, right? So of course, I just put in the application based on what I've been advised, you know. And so I'm not sure what the bylaws regarding this really mean. There is, like, they put a ledger board there already, the builders, where the deck is going to attach. It's a very low deck, you know, can't be sure exactly the height, but it's literally about this height. So I'm not sure what that will translate to. Unless I have specific questions as to why we should do this, you know.
no, I guess you're just explaining why you want the deck and why you want the variance.
Right,
So it's-
right.
You have basically explained some of it already.
Yeah, so I got to know that it has to be certain meter. Was my neighbor that told me, you know, so I didn't know all of this, so I had to just do what as I was told,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
So, and here I am. I found myself here. So,
Okay. So council will be asking you some questions. I don't know if council has any questions. Councilor Campbell's got questions?
I have no questions.
No, Councilor Bichetti?
I do, it's the height thing, it's, looking at the drawings, there's 4 steps there. Mr. Eno, what's the average height of a?
I'm looking at the drawings here, Counselor. It's a little blurry. I think this is 2 feet 8.5 inches.
Okay, so it is over 2 feet.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy, but I think that's what it says.
Okay,
It's either that or 2 foot 3 inches. I'm not sure.
Okay, so to the applicant, have you been notified of any other alternative ways of doing this if it's not approved? Like you can do, as long as you're under 2 feet high, or right on a pad, that kind of stuff, you know, right on the ground. But because of this, the setback to the back property line, that's where this is coming in. But your yard is backing onto a park, or?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see if you were given any other ways of doing this, so.
So
No,
the
just, Councilor Paxton?
I'm just listening to what he's
Okay.
applicant's saying.
So I guess, is there any reason why you wanted it this height? Is it flush with the floor, with your existing floor on the house, or?
right. So because I've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, where when you come out of the rear end.
Yeah,
There's a door, and they've just basically put the ledger board there, where it's going to attach just at the base.
okay, yeah.
You know, that's the builders. You know, so I presume it has to go onto that ledger board.
Okay.
You know, to level with the steps from the door. That's what we're doing basically.
Okay. So are you building the deck yourself? or do you
No.
have Someone
no,
else is,
Someone else is building for me.
someone that knows how to build decks? or-
Right, right,
Okay, you
right.
hired someone to do it? Okay.
Right, right.
So from what I might understand what you're saying is when you walk out of your house, you're gonna step down about 7 inches onto the deck?
Onto the deck, yes.
Okay, good. Anyone else have any questions?
Council Clyburn.
Council Clyburn, go ahead.
I guess to the applicant, you bought a small lot, which doesn't allow you to go out as far as you are with the deck. So I'm gonna echo, Councilor Bichetti's, comments, which is you can do a paving stone. You can do a step down to paving stones and have a patio that way. We had a previous application, which we declined for the same reasons, and we suggested that they do exactly the same thing. You're in a small lot. If you want a big deck or you want a deck attached to your house, you need to be in a bigger lot than you're in right now, because it just doesn't allow for it. And I'm sorry, I can't support your application because I can't play favorites. If you rejected one application for the same reason, then I have to be consistent with that. So, thank you.
Can I just make
Go
one
ahead.
comment?
Council
So
Bicchetti?
you said that you already have a step down from your house. There would be a step down from your house onto this deck if it was built? Like, it would go down, or would it go flat onto your deck? From in the house?
From the house
Yes.
is, so the door
Yeah.
ends there, there's a ledger board there.
Yeah,
Right, so they're attaching that onto
so that it would
the
be.
ledger
flush.
board, right.
No, so it'll be flush.
Yeah, so I was just clarifying, because it
Yeah,
said
yeah.
there'd be a step down. Because, as Councilor Kleiber said, we've denied one already on this, just because the size of the yard. I can't see your height, so if it is 2.3, it's pretty, maybe asking them to move it 3 to 4 inches, that would make it so that you could have a deck, or you build it at ground level.
So you mean in terms of the height of the deck
Yeah,
to,
you'd have
to-
a
to
step
the-
down onto your deck.
to the flue
Yeah.
base? Right, I have to check what the height is, because I'm sure it's around that too, but I'm not exact, so.
But anything over at 2 feet and up has to
Right.
have a variance. If you were at
Right.
1 foot 11 inches, you don't need a variance.
Right,
You wouldn't need, it would be allowed.
don't
Am I
know how
correct?
that works.
Yes, yeah. Is that right?
I'm
And-
just clarifying.
Yeah,
And that would be to the, go ahead.
That's correct. So what the bylaw says is that if you have a deck, a platform, a porch that's under 2 feet, that can go into the setback area. That's okay. So having a deck that comes flush out of the house and then steps from the deck into the backyard, that doesn't meet your bylaw. Having steps from the house go down onto the ground where you'd have a ground level deck, that would meet the bylaw.
Okay.
So it's, I guess, a matter of preference for what the applicant wants.
So basically, you can have like a two-tier deck. You can have a small one coming out of the house, which is over 2 feet, if that's what he wants. And if he wants to extend it, he can,
Come
go down
and
to the other one and stay within the setbacks.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we've seen in some of the other places, steps coming down and then something lower on the ground.
Yeah, okay. Good. Any other comments, questions?
You understand what we're saying there is, there's ways to build a deck, to stick within, to conform with the bylaw.
You're right. I'll have to check with whoever, the person building it, right? So, now, I guess is it a case that, from where the property is to where the fence is, right, is literally 20-something feet.
Yeah,
No, it should be under 25, that's what it is. But I think even as it were, it's only 20-something feet. So it's either not going to be able to get a deck at all, in that sense.
well, I guess that's what they're saying, you can have a deck, you just have to be below the 2 feet level of the deck. So the top of the
Right.
deck to the ground can't be no more than 24 inches above the ground. So build a deck that's 20 inches above the ground, and then you can extend it further than what you want to. You can extend it. There is no variance on that.
On that.
You can go right up to the fence if you want,
Okay.
right? That's,
Right.
am I right in,
1 foot away from the fence.
oh, one fence, okay, thank you for correcting me.
Thank you, Mayor.
So yes, so you can go, so that's probably the best thing, and then,
Right.
okay. The person that's building the deck should be able to help you with that. Okay.
I would have to, I will have to speak to him because literally he's building the deck and almost completed the deck. You know, so I have to figure out how to make those adjustments. You know.
Oh, you started it already?
Right.
Oh, okay,
That's not good.
yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you.
we'll hear from,
No one else has registered in support. In opposition is Eleanor Lake.
okay? And
It's been said.
it's been said, okay?
For information is Norma Elber.
Okay.
Norma Alberg, 312 Evelyn Avenue. A comment on this one. I came for information, and I think for the applicant, I heard the gentleman say that he bought the show home. And so you have your decision to make tonight, but I think that somehow there has to be some conversation with the home builders, because we have had another variance come, and it was before the builder built their show home, and they wanted a variance on cantilevers, and it was not granted. But I think the home builders that are building here in our community, they need to know that the bylaws are in place, and that if they're building a home to show a home buyer, it should be able to conform to all of the variances, or all of the bylaws, so that in a case like this, really, I mean, we can say always buyer beware and due diligence and all of that, but really the home builder is building these homes for us to create our community. And they should have told anyone who's going to buy that show home that, oh, by the way, we haven't left any room in the backyard for you to put a deck.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how you have that conversation, but it doesn't sound like this gentleman hired a builder to build a home that way with the large footprint. He bought a home and assumed he could have a deck.
Okay. Thank you.
For
Just-
information
okay.
is.
Go ahead.
For information is Jerry Belinky.
Okay. Just, so you'll have your opportunity to address these questions afterwards, okay? After these guys are done, okay?
Jerry Belenky, 354 Garden Drive. I have a couple questions. First of all, this deck is attached to the house, is that correct?
That's what they said.
And second thing is I'd like to know is if you approve this footprint, later on, can it be built on? And can this deck be screened in? It's the questions that I'd like to know if this was approved, can this deck be screened in?
Okay,
And with the footprint of this deck, because you're given a variance, can this be built on? Like, I mean, you're approving a structure on this because it's attached to the house, so it's part of the house. So are you saying that it's a deck today, in 5 years, I wanna change it into like a sunroom.
Oh, that's what you refer by build on? Okay.
Yeah, okay?
Okay, thank you.
That's my question.
Yep. Anyone else?
For information is, Teron Creek Dillon
No comments? Okay,
and, Yadwinder Braun.
okay. Oh, you wanna change it to against?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, no one else, so now you can come up and address the comments, questions that,
Thank you for the opportunities. Just wanted to, it's just a comment really, and just borrowing a cue, because we're new in the country. We just moved from the UK last year, and I just had to get a house to put my family. I didn't understand. Of course, I know it was on hindsight that I got to know that all the other show homes had decks built.
okay,
So it was just mine, but I didn't know how houses are in Canada. I just came, went back to the UK, brought my family, and then moved into the house. And then I read, oh, everybody has a house, a deck, and oh, this is a culture here. So I wanted a deck of myself, you know. So I guess, I mean, of course, we might just be the odd one out. We could live without it, I mean, but of course I desire one. I'm not sure if that changes things, because if I knew, I would have maybe not bought that house, you know, or I could have told them, insisted that the Randall Homes put the deck themselves.
okay,
But it was in the rush.
Yeah.
So naturally, I'm just hoping that this is my first time here. I don't know what and what should be said or should not be said, you know. So I do apologize if I'm going about not conventional. I'm so sorry about that. But I would hope that, there will be exceptions to certain laws in exceptional cases. I don't know if that's feasible, but if not, then I just have to find a way around how we move forward, you know. And I do appreciate what you guys do for the community. Thank you.
so wait, there were some questions that were asked, so they asked, were you planning to do any, build-ons to this deck, like in the future, enclose it all, add screens around it, or were you just gonna leave it open?
No, the plan is to leave it open, because I just wanted to blend it with my neighbors.
Okay,
That's all, because I felt like, and naturally I always feel like, everybody may look at it like, why is he the only one out, you know? So that's what made me like, okay, I'll get a deck as well,
Okay.
you know. So, but if I knew that show homes, all the other homes had one, if I kind of noticed it, you know, or if I knew that it was something important in Canada, I probably would have insisted, you know. But we don't get decks in the UK, so I'm so sorry. I just bought the house and moved in.
okay, good, so I guess I just got a question for the planner. So if by chance they wanna enclose it to a 3-season, do they have to come for a variance then, or not?
They'd have to come back. So the first condition that we always suggest, if council wishes to approve this, is that it's limited to what they've proposed here. So they propose an open air deck. If they ever wanted to put a pergola on it, enclose it, make it a sunroom, it would need an additional variance, an additional approval from council.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Okay, we're at 5.4.2, go ahead.
Can I speak to the applicant?
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Kleiber.
Yeah, to the applicant, I would just say, we're not preventing you from having some kind of recreational area in the back of your home. Because you're on a small lot, you have to do it a little bit differently. So all you have to do is just put stairs down to the ground and then do decking, like the stone decking, like a patio. Like, you can do that as well, and a lot of homes have it. A lot of homes have on the ground with the interlocking stone, and it's very, very nice too. So unfortunately, because these lots are small as they are, they don't leave you a lot of room for any kind of depth. And we haven't approved the one before, so it's very difficult for us to say that you can have it, that the other person can't have it. So, I hope you understand our position. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? No? Okay, so we're down to 5.4.2. Be it resolved that the council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 5.4.3, resolution variance order VO 113/24. Whereas an application for variance 113/24 was received for 21 Prairie State Street to reduce the rear yard setback in the RS Service Residential Zone from a required 25 feet minimum to 16.3 feet minimum. And whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation both for and against the applicant, therefore be it hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the RM of West St. Paul hereby approves variation 113/24 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new variance approval. Applicant owner obtains all required permits from the from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. A variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under section 1 for the additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton
Second.
moves. Councilor Campbell,
Yep.
seconded. Any comments, questions? Bryn,
Just,
go ahead, Councilor Paxton.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just, yeah, I won't be supporting this variance, but I do want to say to the applicant, welcome to the community. Our decision here will provide some instructions to your deck builder, and we hope you enjoy your stay in our community.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Can I call for the vote? All in favor? See none. Any opposed?
Nay.
Defeated. Now we're down to this one. So now we're down to, okay, 5.1, public hearing 5.5, open public hearing, variance order VO 114/24. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 5.1, public hearing. I'll have the planner address this, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a variance at 11 Ivy Road. It's to reduce this side yard setback for an attached accessory structure in the RMF1 multifamily zone. Specifically, the applicant wants to take this down to a 0 setback. This is a side-by-side building, and I should note that for side-by-sides that are on their own fee simple property, you're allowed to have a common party wall go down to 0 feet. However, in this case, the applicant wants to construct a sunroom. There is no common party wall. This is another one of those nuances in your bylaw where it's very specific on what we can approve and what we can't approve. Next one, please. So here's the subject property. You can see it's the northern portion of the side-by-side. Next one. And here's the site plan showing the 2 units and then the proposed sunroom that would be attached. While the wall of the sunroom, I believe, is going to be 11 inches from the property line, the overhang would take it down to 0. Next one. and just a couple images of the sunroom that would be attached to the house. Yeah. And then just a picture that's been provided showing with the red line you can see around there, that's where the sunroom would be attached. And again. So once again, this is one of those things where if you're building the side-by-side or a townhouse or something like that, the common party wall, which is inside the house typically, that can all be down to a 0 lot line. But in this case, the bylaw does not give that or afford that leniency when it comes to decks or detached structures or sunrooms that are going to be attached, because there is no common party wall. So if council does want to approve this, similar to the last applications, just the two standard conditions, that it's limited to what's been proposed. If anything changes, if you want to build something bigger or replace it, has to come back to council, as well as that they obtain all required permits from our office as well as the municipality if required. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor Bichetti.
Okay, so you said there, if both sides were building the same thing, now it's then it would be considered party wall, or?
Then I think you'd have an argument to say there's a common party wall, yeah.
Exactly, so like, that's where it's kinda,
That's where the bylaw hasn't contemplated this type of scenario.
Okay, any more questions?
no, cause I don't know how else to comment to this, it's one of those, yeah,
Peculiarity.
if there was one on both sides,
Yeah.
would it even be coming up?
Councilor Batcan?
No.
No? Councilor Kleiber, you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm just wondering on page 2 at the very bottom, it says this application has been circulated to the Arm of St. Clement. And the Arm of St. Clement has no concern with the proposed variance. Why is it circulated to Arm of St. Clement?
That looks like it's probably a typo.
Okay. So this is not a setback issue, this is basically a side yard issue. And what I'm getting from you then, Mr. Planner, is that it has to be identical on one side as on the other side. Is that correct?
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Kleiber, Campbell, do you have any comment, questions? I'm gonna ask the planner if he can put up that, drawing of the back of the house, please.
The next one?
That one there, yes.
Oh, sorry.
That one there.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I guess, where is the common wall ending in that building?
I'm guessing the vertical red line is about that location of the common party wall.
Between the sliders.
The left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the house next to it, when they walk out the door, they'll see that wall coming out then, right?
Mhm.
So there's an open yard between the two, there's no fence down the middle?
No.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot. Okay. Any other questions? None? Okay, so I guess, is the applicant here?
I believe so. We have Effie and Errol Acqueen.
Okay. Can you come forward, please? Do you guys say your name and address and then,
My name is Errol Acquey.
I'm Effie Acquey,
okay, and you live in where?
Road 11, Ivy Road.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so,
This is our first time as well.
yep, no, proceed, give us a reason why you wanna build it and, any other information that we can ask of you.
Okay, we've downsized from our previous home, so we moved into Western Port. That's the very progressive.
Can you have the applicant speak up, please?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying we've downsized and moved into Western Borders recently at the end of June. And from the other house that we were in, we had the same setup in the back of the house, a deck and a sunroom. So to get a little more space in the size that we have right now, because it's a much smaller space, we set up a sunroom. We've talked with our neighbors right next door about how it would affect him. He has no objections at all. There is a plan to build a fence maybe next year. So that, how that affects this right now, but you asked about a fence. Yes, there's going to be a fence coming next year.
Okay. Any other, council have any questions from the applicant? No, none? Councilor Kleiber, you have
Mayor, I
any?
have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor Kleiber.
Yeah, I couldn't hear everything the applicant said, but my question was, you don't have a fence in between the two duplexes, is that correct?
Not at present.
At the moment.
Okay, and what is your neighbor's support or non-support on your building?
Yeah, we spoke with them, and they're in favor of. There's no objection.
In fact, if I can
Okay.
add,
All right.
if I can add, we have
Provide
this.
a letter of support, or are they in the audience today?
No, they're not. It's just a verbal support.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So you wanted to have
Yeah, I just wanted to add that we have already discussed with our neighbors the question of putting up a fence, and our discussions, one of cooperation, we plan to do it together, and so we don't foresee any objections to what would happen in the future.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any, speaking to the planner, are there any applicants for the project?
No one else registered in support. In opposition is Eleanor Lake.
Okay,
I'll withdraw that objection. I really don't understand this.
Okay.
Without seeing it.
okay,
For information or support?
Information.
okay,
For information is Norma Albert,
okay. Good, okay.
and for information is Jerry Belenky.
Jerry Belenky, 354 Gardview Drive. I'm just wondering how much he would have to reduce this sunroof to comply. Like, is it a big issue, or is it just like a matter of a couple feet, or is it larger? I don't know, I can't. Because the way the angle of the camera is taking the pictures, it looks like the two houses are right smack together. I don't know if there's,
It would have to
It's
be-
a side-by-side, so there's
so
a
there's
zero.
no easement.
That's
There-
right.
Yeah, it's a zero.
You would have to reduce it by 4 feet.
So, can I have a blow-up of that? So, in other words, it would come into approximately the middle of that large window.
Yeah.
Middle of the door, the slider.
The red line is the center of the two homes, basically,
So the line that's on the very
left side.
right side, close to the,
No, this side, that's the
that's
zero.
the left side,
that's
no,
the
but
neighbor.
on the other side, by that yellow building, that line, that vertical line, is that the edge of the,
That's the edge of the house.
This is gonna be the edge of the sunroom,
okay,
edge, right, and then here is the parting line of the two buildings. Where
So-
this is, so they said that this wall is actually gonna be 11 inches away from the parting line of the building, but because of the eaves, the overhang of the eaves, it goes right to 0.
okay. So what is the vertical line on the right-hand side by that yellow building? What is that line about?
I'm not sure what that is.
Well,
Part
that's
of
just
the deck.
confusing, I mean,
There's this deck that comes out
Good,
on the
yeah.
side.
Oh, the deck goes to that end. Oh,
It's where the deck.
oh, the deck goes there. Can we have that picture up again?
so there's no problem with the other side yard?
The deck
It's
goes, the deck
the
goes to
middle.
there.
Okay, so it's in the middle of the house.
So right
Okay,
here-
so that's totally different than when I was watching that, and I couldn't understand, I thought, you know, if you're right against the house, anyhow. Okay,
Okay,
I'll leave it at information.
anything else? No? Okay, so I'll just have the applicant come forward and they can address some of the questions that were asked. Yeah, Jerry was-
Thank you for the opportunity to explain a little further.
Excuse- So I'll just get them to, oh, good, perfect, thank you. Okay, go ahead, explain.
Just to clarify that, what we are looking at there, where the sunroom is going to be, if we were to move that 3 inches in, it won't be a sunroom because it's going to be so close to the door itself that comes off the dining area.
Yeah.
And at the other end of it, it's an open deck, so it's way further from the other neighbor's home. They are not affected at all.
Okay. So the deck is how far away from the edge of the house? When the deck stops, what's the distance between the edge of the house?
I think it's 17 inches.
17 inches, okay.
I think that's what it was, yes. So the party wall, if it's moved, according to the regulations, 4 feet, it comes smack in the middle of the door, or the patio door. So you really can't move that, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mayor, I have a question for the planner.
Okay, Councilor Clyber, go ahead. There's a question for the planner.
Mr. Eno, would there have been a notification to the neighbor that this application was going in?
Yes.
Okay. To the mayor, this is quite an obtrusive addition in the sense that there's no yard here, it's open, and I would like to see a letter of support from the neighbor because this is going to change the way that backyard is used. And I don't know, if I was in a duplex and suddenly my neighbor put up a big sunroom right beside me, I might not be too happy about it. So I would like to see the applicant provide us a letter of support from his neighbor saying that he's okay with it, instead of passing it without any knowledge of that.
Okay. There were nobody's objecting to it, to this here, so we're believing that he did talk to the neighbors and get their support for it.
And you know that without a doubt? You have a letter from them?
There's no objections to it. No one came forward for an objection.
Yeah, in the past though, we've done some due diligence with that and tabled it so that the neighbor could provide a letter of support or some support of some kind. Because you're putting a sunroom in the middle of the yard and you don't have any evidence at all that the neighbor is okay with it, other than somebody says that the neighbor's okay. So I have an issue with that. I can't support an application putting up a big sunroom in the middle of the yard where they're sharing the yard, and there's nobody coming forward saying I support my neighbor. I support this sunroom going into my backyard. So I don't have a problem with the sunroom itself, but I want to be assured that that neighbor next door knows about it and is okay with it.
Okay, thank you. Do you guys want to table it or no? Move forward? Mike?
I'm okay with moving forward. I mean, this is a public hearing.
Yep.
It was advertised, and people had the opportunity to come out today and speak to it.
Okay, so now we're down to 5.4.2. Be it resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Campbell, Patrick moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Council Patrick Pichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. 5.5.3, Resolution Variance Order 114/24. Whereas an application for the variance 114/24 was received for the property located at 11 Ivy Road to reduce the side yard of an attached accessory structure in order to build a 3-season sunroom on the subject property in the RMF-1 service multifamily residential zone from a required 4 feet minimum to a 0 foot minimum. And whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, A public hearing has been held to hear representation both for and against the application. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the RM of West St. Paul hereby approves variance 114/24 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new variance approval. And 2, applicant owner obtain all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. A variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline on the subsection 1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received from the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please? Council Bichetti moves. Could I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Council Campbell seconds. Any comments, Councilor Bichetti?
Yeah, this is something that is gonna be new to, I guess, this council and all of council so far, because this is where we first started with the 0 lot line party wall, I believe they call it. This is something that is gonna have to start being expected in these backyards. They've complied with their rear yard setbacks, side yard setbacks. We have set a 0 lot line to, I guess, the middle, the party wall, be it saying.
Yep.
And we're letting them, we say 0 on that interior joint, I'm gonna call it, between the 2 yards. On the building, if this was a resident that owned both sides and was building 2 of them, there could be no way, I guess, that we could be stopping it because it's a joint wall. Therefore, I'm gonna be supporting this application.
Okay. Councilor Campbell, you have anything? No. Councilor Clyber, you have any comments? None? Councilor Patkan?
I'm good.
Good, okay. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
I abstain from the vote. I abstain from the vote on the basis that I have no knowledge whether or not this neighbor has been informed of the sunroom, and I would want to be notified if I was the neighbor. So if you have some evidence, I could support it.
Okay.
As such, I abstain from the vote.
Okay, thank you. Now we're down to 5.6. Open public hearing, variance orders VO 117-24. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Patkan moves. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. I just want to remind the audience that to keep the noise down, there's no communication while we're having this public hearing unless you're at the table in front of us. So, thank you very much. So I guess I'll have the planner present.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. This is a variance for 33 Linden Lane, and it's to vary a section of the bylaw that deals with projections into the setback area. Next one. So specifically, it deals with cantilevers. Section 3.24.1.1 does allow cantilevers to go into the setback area, but so long as the total length of the cantilever, like along the wall, doesn't go over 10 feet. In this case, I believe it's 22 feet is what the applicant is proposing. Next one. So here's the subject property, and it's next to an open area, and then you can see to the big drainage pond to the south. And here is the site plan, a little bit fuzzy on the screen in front of you. What the applicant is proposing is 2 separate cantilevers. One would be 9 feet along the wall. The other one would be 13 feet along the wall. So cantilevers are allowed within your municipality. You can have as many as you want, as long as you want, so long as they adhere to the minimum setback, which in this zone is 4 feet. Your bylaw does allow cantilevers to go into that setback, so long as I said, the total length along the wall isn't any more than 10 feet. So that's what the variance is about. Next one, please, thank you. So should council wish to approve this, same standard conditions as before, that it's, the variance is limited to what's been proposed, so if if the applicant wants to change anything, they gotta come back to council, as well as that they obtain all required permits from our office.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any, Councilor Paxton, you got any questions?
Not at this time.
Councilor Bichetti, any questions? Councilor Campbell? No. Nope. Councilor Clyber, you have any questions to the planner? None? Okay. Can the applicant come forward, please?
I believe it's Chris Magus?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Hello, Chris Magus, 624 Hodnot Road. I am the actual homeowner of the home, that Fox Ridge Home is the applicant that has applied for the variance. And I just wanted to give a little more clarity as to what the house design is. It's a bungalow that we're proposing to build there. And on that one wall, there are the two cantilevers. I have a drawing of the outside of the house that shows there's the 9-foot cantilever there, and then a window, and then the 13-foot cantilever at the back. You can see that from the site plan that the planner showed, the top view of the site plan, that's how those look on the side of the house. I also have a picture on my phone of a completed similar model, if you want to see it physically.
No, you're trying.
Okay. Yeah, so that's basically what we're asking for, that to be approved.
Okay.
So that we can build a house on that lot. On the left side of the, or sorry, the right side, the south side of the lot, that space there is green space. There's already a developer black fence along that lot line. It's green space, and then the pathway down to the retention pond that's there. So there's no house beside.
Okay. Councilor Campbell, you have any questions?
What is the current, is to the, through the mayor to the planner, what is the current with the cantilever, what is the side yard setback currently?
From the cantilever to the property line?
Yes.
It would be 2 feet 3 inches.
Okay. Councilor Shetty? None? Councilor Paxton?
Yeah, just a quick question. So, okay, thanks for sharing the drawing, and that explains the 22 feet. So if you were to comply with the bylaw at 10 feet for the combined, for both the cantilevers, are you able to do that?
Well, that would require basically losing the 13-foot cantilever, which is in the great room, and that's going to severely restrict the size inside the house.
Could you go more west? Further back to the backyard, I guess?
That changes the whole layout inside the house. The potentially one thing that could happen is instead of making that a cantilever, it could be the foundation of the home could come out and give us the square footage inside the house. The problem with that is it wouldn't fit on the lot. We wouldn't adhere to the 4-foot side yards then.
Okay, well, I just wanted to ask you that question. Thank you.
Okay. Go, Councilor, go ahead.
What's the side yard at on the opposite side there?
It should be 5 feet 3 inches from the back of the house to the lot line. Because from the garage, it's 4 feet 3 inches, and the garage is 1 foot out
Oh,
from the
1 foot
house.
out, okay.
Yeah.
It just, I blow it up on here and it just goes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't read anything, so.
I have a print.
No, we have it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
pretty well done.
Yeah.
Guys,
So even kicking the, cause it looks like it's a bit, it's not built yet, or?
No, it's to
Okay.
be built, yeah.
So kicking it over to the left, I'm just getting my orientation on there, so to the left on there, that still wouldn't put it into compliance.
No.
How far out does that cantilever go?
It's 2 feet. 2 foot.
Okay, that's it for me.
Councilor Clyburn?
Yeah, to the applicant, have you built the house yet?
Sorry?
Have you built the house yet?
Started building yet?
No, we're needing this variance so that we can get the building permit.
Okay, so you're quite a ways into your side yard. What is jutting out there? What have you got there that is jutting out like that?
You mean the cantilevers?
Yeah,
Well, one is 2 feet, 13 by feet, 2 feet by 13 feet, and the other one is 2 feet by 9 feet.
go ahead. I've had a bit of delay here, so apologies.
Just
Yeah,
to explain,
yeah.
during the public hearing, those mics aren't mic'd into this or
No.
for the other counselor.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
it's all for the video.
Oh, okay.
So right now, the only mic being picked up is through the,
Oh,
is
okay.
through that, and
Okay.
there's the delay between everything.
Yeah.
Just to clarify,
Oh, I thought
it's
she was
kinda
hearing from there.
difficult, yeah, it's kinda difficult when you're at that end, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that, so.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Kleiber.
So what is going where the cantilevers are in the design of the house?
You mean inside the house?
Yeah,
Yes, so the 9-foot one is part of the kitchen. It's a pantry and broom closet. And the 13-foot one is part of the great room, and the fireplace entertainment unit is in that 13-foot cantilever.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Can you pass me the side drawing of the house?
This
there
one?
with Gus, if you don't mind? So this year's the cantilever,
No, where, the
Right
9
there's
foot,
cantilever?
that sticks out 2 feet.
And
that
that's
sticks
cantilever?
out 2 feet, yeah.
okay,
If you would like, I've got a nice picture
yeah, I know.
of the house. You can, from the side, you can see it.
So,
This is good, because I think this is part of our package, this is just to clarify
Okay.
the package, so I think that works.
you know, I'm wondering, just gonna throw this idea out there, like, if they're gonna have cantilevers on this side of the property, I'll say on this side of the property here, and nothing on that side, then can we sort of like ask the builder to put the air conditioner and all of the meters on this side, because then you're gonna lose footage anyways, right? So if we lose footage on this side, we can keep the 4 feet on that side.
The meters are governed, by where the furnace is gonna go and stuff.
The meters are on this side of the house. So this is a very.
Oh, it's on the cantilever side? Oh, perfect.
So everything
Oh, and the
is
air
like-
conditioner's
and
on
the
the same side,
air
right? No.
No, I think the air conditioner's probably on the other side.
Oh, okay.
This is the same model that's been built in another area.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I wonder if it would be,
Well,
it would be nice to, yep,
if they would put all the services on one side, that way at least it's not obstructing anything on the other side of the home.
because right now you're gonna, if you put the air conditioner on the other side of the house, that air conditioner sticks out about 3.5 feet. So now you're only gonna have 1 foot on one side and 2 feet on the other side. So anything you wanna get into your backyard, you won't be able to get into your backyard.
And for safety reasons.
Yes. So if you can put your air conditioner on the cantilever
But then
side.
that's, like, visually, that's gonna be on the park side. You're gonna see that. It's not quite as nice.
But it still gives no access to your backyard. It's, once you have, if you have a fence up or your neighbor has a fence up.
Yeah.
Now if you got that 4-foot line, 2 cantilevers on one side, it'd be nice with nothing on the other side. It gives that straight run, walkway, whatever, running from front yard to backyard. Or, heaven forbid, something happens in the backyard and EMS or fire has to get in there. That's what we have to look at the same time, the safety aspect too, right? I understand you're on green space on the outside of there, but there's still, we have to look at the square space that
Yeah.
the lot is on, right?
Well, we could request that the air conditioner condenser go on that side of the house then,
Yeah, okay.
if that's a, a condition of the
I saw it.
approval of the variance.
No, he's just asking. He wants to see I saw it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Got any other questions?
Just contemplating.
You may have one more?
No, I think I'm just working something out.
Okay, so then we can get, okay, so we'll, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And applicants will come up and be asking questions, and you'll be able to respond afterwards to those questions, so, okay? Any for?
No one for or against for information is Norma Albert,
Okay, she good, okay,
Eleanor Ling,
okay.
I will change mine to objection.
Okay, go ahead, yep.
Eleanor Link, 1045 Toshak Road. The applicant has stated that if there was a foundation, the house would not fit on the lot. The house hasn't been built yet. I think a house needs to fit on the lot. In order to be consistent with previous decisions, I think that council should turn this down.
Okay,
My opinion, thank you.
okay, thank you very much.
and for information is Jerry Belinkie.
Okay.
Jerry Belenky, 354 Garden View Drive. I have a problem with this. This house is too big for the lot. We're adding on 44 square feet. If the house wanted to be fed and you wanted to have the cantilevers, make the other house, the other side of the house smaller and move the house over. It's not built, so I don't see why, I think the variances should be for some mistakes, that some things that happen that can't be rectified without a variance. This is a fresh build. It's not, I mean, the lot is too small or the house is too big. Simple as that. I mean, we have a rule somewhere. I mean, just, if we allow this, then we're just gonna get more and more cantilevers and have increased the sizes of the houses on the small lots, and we're just congesting everything. Shouldn't be. I want to be against it.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have a question for the planner. I guess presently, the bylaw does allow for cantilevers only if it's within a certain length, is that right?
Yep.
So that's what the variance is for, is because they're going beyond the length.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they were to take out one cantilever, they can still build a house with the cantilever?
Just like the applicant said, if they took out the 13-foot one, then it wouldn't be here.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? No, okay. I don't know if there's a need for you to come up or not, and if we heard everything, so. So we'll go ahead and now we'll close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Pat Can moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none? Okay. Okay, now I'll go to.
Call for the question?
Go ahead. Oh, yes, can I call for the vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, 5.6.3. I guess before we start, I'm just wondering if council is in favor of adding that services go on the same side as the cantilever of the house when they build a house?
If approved.
If approved, yes. Can we add that into the, one of the conditions?
Absolutely you can. Maybe what I would suggest, Mr. Mayor, is that instead of dictating where they go, maybe outlining where they should not go.
Okay.
The reason behind that is if you don't want them on the north side, just say you don't want it on the north side. Just thinking that if the applicant's designer has a look and says, I can fit this at the back of the house, that would make a whole lot of sense. You've already dictated that it has to go on the south side, so just giving the applicant a little more flexibility there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, does that make sense?
So we would say no protrusions to the
Air conditioning,
north side.
mechanical equipment shall be prohibited from the north
That way
side.
we just say no protrusions to the foundation on that one side.
You could say that too, yeah,
Yep.
that
Then
would
that
work.
eliminates us from anything.
Yes. I'm all right with that. I mean, if you guys are right,
It just,
Yep,
can we put that in there?
yep, that could be
Okay,
a
all right.
third condition.
So now we have to read this into the provisions, or? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So when I get to that third one, you have it written down?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. Whereas an application for variance 11724 was received for the property located at 33 Linden Lane to increase the length of the cantilevers in the service residential zone from required 10 feet maximum to 22 feet maximum. And whereas underneath the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation both for and against the application. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul hereby approves variation 117-24 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new variance approval. Number 2, applicant owner obtain all required permits from the Red River Planning District and municipality if required. Number 3,
No protrusions on the north side of the building, example, air conditioner.
okay. A variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of a decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend a deadline under subsection 1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder? Councilor Campbell seconds it. Any comments, questions? Councilor back to Ken.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. First of all, to the applicant, thanks for choosing West St. Paul. I think, and welcome to the neighborhood. Fox Ridge Homes does build very beautiful homes, and I think there is ultimately a solution here. I've been a very staunch advocate of larger lots within West St. Paul, and sometimes we encounter issues and challenges on the smaller lots, and this could be one of them. My voting record has been to supporting the bylaws, and to really press builders to find solutions to meet the bylaws. So in this case, I do believe there is a solution, perhaps. I unfortunately won't be able to support the variance, but I think there is a solution, and I appreciate you coming here before your building, and I think that there is a solution here for you, that you perhaps challenge your builder to find something that will conform with the bylaws of West St. Paul.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Kleiber?
Yeah, I would echo Councilor Ken's comments. We have turned away variances for, fascia being into the side yard, so I can't really support an application with cantilevers that far out. It's a small lot, it's a 44-foot lot. You have to go by what the lot requirements are. If you want a bigger house, you gotta get a bigger lot, and then there won't be any issue with cantilevers. I understand your position, but you're gonna have to make some changes in order to have those cantilevers. And I won't be supporting the application just because of the sense of fairness. If I vote against other ones that are very similar, I can't support this one either, so I will not be voting in favor of this application.
Any other comments? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor? Are you in favor?
No, sorry.
Okay. And all opposed?
Nay.
No.
Okay.
Okay, defeated. Okay, now we're down to 6.1. Subdivision S24307, be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul under Section 125(1) of the Planning Act approves subdivision S24-3070 for the property located at 836 Miller Road to divide the 4.88 acre property into 2.03 and one 2.85 acre lot subject to the following conditions. Applicant owner submits confirmation in writing from the administrative officer, chief administration officer of the municipality that taxes on the land to be subdivided for the, excuse me, please. Applicant owners,
He's just getting a mop, he just built just the water bottle.
oh, I did, okay, sorry. So I'll start over. Be it resolved.
Can we just give them a minute?
Oh, sure, okay, by all means.
Please,
Okay, we'll wait.
it's right in front of the door too, so just in case
Yeah, no,
someone knocks.
okay.
Oh, safety issue.
Yep.
There's no public hearing for this, are we still going through the application?
It's just a resolution.
Pardon me?
I just have a resolution here for 6.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any,
No public hearing for this because there's already an existing road.
Correct.
yep.
But is the planner gonna go through the application nonetheless?
Yes, we were just waiting, that something happened in the room here, so we just stopped for a minute.
Oh, okay.
She didn't know that part.
No. Okay, I'll start over again. 6.1, resolution subdivision S24-3070. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul under Section 125(1) of the Planning Act approve subdivision S24-3070 for the property located at 836 Miller Road to divide the 4.88 acre property into one 2.03 acre lot and one 2.85 acre lot, subject to the following conditions. Applicant owner submits confirmation in writing from the chief administrative officer of the municipality that A, taxes on the land be subdivided for the current year, plus any arrears have been paid, or arrangement satisfactory to council has been made. Payment of any applicable development levies have been paid. C, a drainage lot grading plan to be prepared by all qualified engineers to the satisfaction of the municipality and to ensure that the proposed properties do not drain into or impede the drainage from neighboring properties. D, a development agreement has been entered into to address the following but not limited to: development fees, servicing, access, drainage, and lot grading plans to be prepared by a qualified engineer, submitted prior to any development to the satisfaction of the municipality, to ensure that the proposed property does not drain into or impede drainage from the neighboring properties. Applicant owner obtains variance approvals from the RM of West St. Paul Council for the proposed undersized lot. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
Councilor Paxton seconds it. I'll have the planner speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just go through this quickly for you. So this is for the property at 836 Miller Road, and the applicant's requesting to subdivide it, I'll say in half, just lack of a better term. It's pretty close to half. You on the next one? So here's the subject property. You can see the existing house built to the west side, and then the east side of the lot is vacant, and that's what we're talking about for the new lot. Thank you. Here's the subdivision plan. It shows that the two lots proposed with the existing home on it as well as a new one will be one just over 2 acres in size, and the other one about 2.8 acres in size. In terms of frontage, the requirement is 198 feet. The one lot is 200 feet wide, and the other lot is 142.5 feet wide. So that's not in compliance, but that's where the variance condition comes from. There's just not enough room in terms of frontage to adhere to the bylaw. This has been circulated to the various government departments and agencies. There are no concerns that have come back. Just a note, although it doesn't need to be a condition, Manitoba, sorry, they changed their name again, Conservation and Climate has noted that the new lot will have to have a septic tank. But that's taken care of at the permit stage. They haven't talked about the existing septic field with the house, so because they haven't given us a condition, we're not putting anything in. The applicant can keep their field. So
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor, and you read out those conditions already. Thank you.
Good, perfect. I guess you made a comment,
Septic, the holding tank.
Holding
Yes.
tank, yeah, for the
Yep,
new one.
yes, okay.
But it doesn't,
Question for the planner?
have the 198.
So, Councilor Kleiber, you have a question for the planner?
Yes.
Okay,
To the planner, the reason that it's not, I mean, this is kind of a unique situation because it's in the Red River corridor and it wouldn't matter if it was 200 feet in compliance, you'd still have to put a holding tank in, correct?
That's my understanding of the rules, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
okay. Councilor Paxton, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just curious if the applicant is aware that they're gonna have to, that they're required to provide a drainage plan that's acceptable to the RM, and that there currently isn't a solution for drainage at this point on the south side of their property that's adjacent to the creeks. So I'm not sure I just wanna know, I'm not sure, I don't know if the applicant is aware that there could be some challenges with regards to providing a suitable drainage plan for this subdivision.
I'm not aware of the challenges of drainage in areas.
Is there an opportunity for me to ask the applicant some questions?
Who's the applicant?
Councilor Paxton, would that not be part of the development agreement for the subdivision?
Likely, yes. But I'm just wondering, would I be able to ask some questions of the applicant?
It's not a public hearing.
Okay.
So I guess it does talk about drainage here. That has to be prepared by a qualified engineer.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that would include a drainage plan, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
The only,
Yeah.
but there's a challenge to that because right now the development to the south hasn't completed the drainage. And I'm not sure if a solution, economical solution could be had to satisfy this subdivision. That's the issue.
Yeah.
As long as the applicant is aware of that, that's, you know, the day, that's all I really wanted to say.
Yeah, okay.
Just for my own clarification, have we not subdivided on the
We just did, actually, the history was, this past, there was a restriction to do subdivisions on Miller Road because of the whole drainage issue in the whole area. And when this strip of land was sold and developed back in the 90s, the current owner had elected not to do any drainage improvements to the land. So everyone inherited an issue with the Creeks property now, and there's poor drainage in the area. And so the recent subdivision that we just did a couple months ago, that applicant is having some challenges with providing a solution that can work to satisfy the RMs, to satisfy a proper drainage plan. So in this case, it's probably gonna be the same situation here too, so I just was wanting to know if the applicant is aware of that.
Just a follow-up to that, have we not finalized the creeks? They're building a road off McPhillips there to commence, so is this not?
Yeah, the only thing is, I'm not sure what the timeline is of this applicant, if they're able to wait some time, I'm not sure. We have no control of the timeline of the creeks, and so it could be 2 years, it could be 20 years. We don't know what the timeline is, when they're gonna put their solution to the, adjacent to Miller, so it's the unknown of the completed drainage plan for the creeks is what could cause a problem for this particular applicant to find a proper solution for a drainage plan. That's all I'm saying.
Did we put a condition on the prior one? Sorry,
No, that's fine.
just to clarify, we did approve one on this street. So
Yes,
just
and they have to
wondered-
provide a proper drainage plan.
So
There is
basically-
probably a solution, I don't know how economical it will be, but there probably is a solution.
So as long as that's aware.
As long as people are aware of that, yeah.
Okay, I just couldn't remember what we did with the other one, and I knew you did.
No, it's good, and thanks for asking those questions, because that was a good discussion.
Okay,
Mayor,
go ahead, Councilor Kleiber.
we've already approved one on this road. The developer is supposed to be addressing the drainage issue, but there's also a development agreement that has to be struck between the applicant and ourselves should we approve it. So it can't go forward until that the drainage is addressed. So in both cases, that would be the case, and that would be part of the agreement. So I'm not sure what the issue is here.
Oh, sorry, Councilor Clark, but the issue is just general awareness of potential challenges.
But we were aware of that on the last application as well.
Yeah,
And it can be addressed in the development.
correct. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other questions, comments? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, that takes us down, oh, now we gotta do, what's here?
Are we in general planning matters? Can we just take a short break?
Yeah, but there was some,
Can we do that one first?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
that
Yep.
Which one?
15.6, right?
Yeah, and then take a break.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine.
15.6, sponsorship request, U13A Seven Oaks Raiders. Bid, go ahead.
I'm gonna declare, perceived conflict on this one, so.
Okay, good, thank you very much. Be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve a sponsorship for the U13A2 Seven Oaks Raiders in the amount of, I guess we'll discuss it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Councilor
Okay.
Campbell's gonna just
Oh, step
exit
out,
the table.
So do I call for it? Who is it?
No, we're gonna talk to how much it provides.
Okay, do that first, okay. Okay, go ahead,
I
Councilor
don't,
Bichetti.
okay, well, on previous ones, sponsorships to another sports team, we did $300 each from our, sorry, what's the
Community
fund?
initiatives.
Community Initiatives Fund, so I'd recommend that one.
Okay, so you want to do 300?
Okay, I'll do 300 from Ward 3.
Okay, I'll do 300, and Councilor, you have any questions? No?
No.
Councilor Kleiber?
Yeah, we've sponsored the Curling Team 750 each, for a total of 1,500. I'm willing to give $1,000 from my discretionary fund.
Okay, so that'd be a total of 1,600? 300 from each of us?
That's more than 60.
That's 19?
Oh, 1,900, sorry, yeah,
No,
1,900.
that's more than that. It's 300, that's 1,200 plus
I
another
don't
1,000.
understand.
That's 2,200.
But with Peter,
Yeah, I don't have his approval to put it in, right? I mean, he has to do that on his own.
Oh, no, as a group, we're deciding that he's gonna provide 300.
Okay, so if we put it as a resolution, that 300 from each,
From.
except Ward.
From Ward
sorry.
1, 2, 3, or 300, the mayor's 300, and then Councilor Cliver, Ward 4 is 1,000, so that's 2,200.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yes, okay, so how do we work this, sir? Because he stepped out for a conflict of interest, which is good, I'm glad he did that. So now, how does that work? Because I believe he might want to contribute also.
We're gonna say he's gonna contribute at 300. We can do that.
Okay.
And so that would be 300, as long as the mayor is okay with 300, Councilor Bichetti?
Yeah,
I don't know if that, I don't know
Laney,
if
what's
that's.
going on?
Campbell
Maybe-
has left the room for a conflict because his son is on the team. So we're just deciding if it's from all 5 members or just 4 members of council.
Well, it has to be from 4.
Yeah, the question I see a difficulty is that now we're speaking for somebody that we're assuming,
It's the 4 of us,
yeah, just do the 4 of us, and then he'll have to do it on his own.
He couldn't because he's gonna have no say on this.
Yeah, we can, I think he'd be, I think he would wanna support it. So what we're saying is that he can't vote on it, but we can vote on it, and I think
Oh,
he would,
yeah,
I think he would wanna make a contribution.
Majority of council,
You
yes.
can't speak for his discretionary fund. That's his fund.
Yeah,
Okay, fine, so then it would just be the 4 of us then.
You can't say we're gonna give some of
So
Peter's
we'll do
fund.
19.
That's for him to decide.
Okay, so then it would be 1,000, and then it would be 1,900 combined.
yeah.
Noted.
And then if he wants to do it, then he can come back and,
I don't know how that works, he can't do it.
He's declared a conflict
Yeah.
on it and has
oh,
left
okay.
he can't make any decisions on this matter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
On this one.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, okay, so then it's 300 from each of us and 1,000 from Councilor Kleiber.
Noted.
Okay, good. Okay, so it'll be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of Western Paul approves sponsorship for the U13A to Seven Oaks Raiders in the amount of $1,900 coming from the Councilor's Initiative Fund, $1,000 from Councilor Kleiber, $300 from Councilor Bichetti, $300 from Mayor Turgeon, and $300 from Councilor Paxton.
Question.
Okay,
Okay, can I,
do you have a mover?
can I have a mover?
I'll move.
Councilor Bichetti moves.
I'll
Councilor
second it.
Paxton seconds it. Any comments, questions? Okay, call for the vote. All in favor?
I do have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
That at every opportunity, we should support our kids that are in sports and that need sponsorship, and that's why I'm willing to support this as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Carried.
Okay, go for a short break.
Yes, we'll take a recess a bit.
Okay. Can I-
So we are now on, let's see here.
Seven?
7,
Mr. Mayor?
yes. 7.1, regular meeting of council, October 24th. Be it resolved that the meeting of the regular meeting of council held on October 24th, 2024 be approved. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Council Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Council Paxton seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Carried. So no delegations, no bylaws, accounts receivable, 10.1, information. I don't know if anyone has looked at it, if they have any questions. Okay, we'll go down to the next one. There's no payroll, number 11. Financial statements, 12.1. Financial statements for the period ending September 30th. Be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve the financial statements for the period ending September 30th, 2024. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions?
Just a quick comment saying that I appreciate the efforts of staff to add to the capital budget table towards the end of the document comments as of November the 6th. So that's very timely. It provides good visibility and accountability to the projects, the capital projects that council is working on, and to our residents as well. So it's much appreciated that those comments are now there moving forward.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried. Down to 13, CAO's report. Be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul accept the CAO's report as information. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves, seconds it.
I'll second it.
Councilor Paxton seconds. Any comments, questions? Councilor Campbell?
Nope.
Councilor Bichetti? None. Councilor Paxton?
Yeah, it's a good report. I just, at the end, I noticed that there's a rural animal management services. Maybe if I could just leave the comment for the MLO to share with the CAO. I see that there's the case number, the complaint, whatever it is, animal at large or whatever, other. The information is there, but I'm not sure how useful it is. Maybe is it possible that additional information, perhaps the neighborhood of where these are occurring? I'm looking for some more information to give us better insight of what's happening and where it's happening. Because just to say there's animal at large and the case number doesn't really do anything. So I just want to leave that comment for the CAO for consideration.
Can I just make a
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead,
Councilor
Councilor Bichetti.
Paxton, I think you'll see those numbers correspond next month when they do their, because if you look down,
Yeah,
the ones from then, it's always that 1 month, and
it's lagging.
yeah, it's September, October is here, and I guess this has happened, well, then it should correspond.
I think it does. What I'm saying is that if we know the neighborhood is happening, it just gives additional insight.
No, but it does say it on their report, which is after the CEO's October report.
Oh, the
If you
animal.
go farther down,
Fine, that's a different report though.
but it's the same case numbers.
Okay.
So then it gives a breakdown of what area it happened in, what happened, and who was spoken with.
Okay, good, thank you.
So it does, it's.
In that case, then
is odd, yeah.
I'll retract my comments to the CEO, if you can note that.
I was
Madam
looking at
MLO.
that too, going, what wards did they happen in, and then I saw the report after
Okay,
that, so.
thank you.
So I have a question for the MLO. So I see on the reports that, you know, there were some safety meetings done over the last month. So I guess I'm just trying to understand, when the RM does a safety meeting, that means all departments are in on the safety minutes, or is it broken down by departments, the safety meetings?
No, the Health and Safety Committee is comprised of all of our departments with employee and employer
Okay,
representatives.
so then there would be employer and employee from each area?
Correct.
At this, okay, so it's a combined health and safety meeting then?
Correct.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, okay, so that, any other questions? None? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, takes us down to 15.1, miscellaneous dates for meetings. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul authorize the attendance of the following meetings. October 5th, West St. Paul, Giant Pumpkin Contest, Mayor Trijan, I believe.
I just didn't get a report in, so
Yeah, pardon?
I didn't get my report in, so.
Oh, yeah, well, I can catch up on that too.
You want to put your name in now for it?
Or should we?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can just put her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Councilor Bichetti and myself were there as well.
The
Yep.
pumpkin
Okay.
contest thing.
So there's 3 of us that were at this.
Added.
Added, okay. So can I call for the vote?
Do we have a mover and seconder?
Oh, we didn't, I'm a little ahead,
I'll move
okay.
it then.
Councilor Pat moves, who seconds it? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. All in, any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing, any opposed? Hearing none, carried. So this is the 15.2, be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve the schedule for 2025 council meeting. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Pat moves.
Yeah, so moved.
Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Comments, questions? I believe there is one. Underneath, where are we on this one here now? It's about an alternate, right? Is this the one?
No, that was the committee's.
Oh, okay, sorry,
This is the
okay.
dates here, so.
The dates, okay. So, yeah, can I call for the question then? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Carried. Okay, so now we got 15.3, Municipal Office, Public Works, and Access Center Holidays Schedule. Be it resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul approve the schedule of closures and holidays hours for the 2024-2025 holiday season as follows.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor Pactican is the mover, seconder. Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? None? So how soon we'll be posting these dates then for the public to know?
It should be next week.
It'll be next week?
Mhm.
Okay, good, thank you very much. Can I call for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
Mr. Mayor, I need to recuse myself for item 15.4.
Okay. Oh, okay. 15.4, West St. Paul Fire Department appointment for additional members. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul appoint the following 10 individuals to the West St. Paul Fire Department effective November 14th, 2024. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves,
I'll
seconder,
second.
Councilor Campbell. Any comments, questions?
No,
Hearing
just,
none? Go ahead.
Yeah, the only comment is I'm glad we had such a good turnout and, I feel bad for the ones that weren't picked, and hopefully that doesn't deter them next time that there is a call out.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any other comments? None? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay,
This is the one, isn't it?
yes.
55? Yeah, we just got an alternate.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll do that after I read this here then, okay. Be it oh wait, we're on the camera here. Okay. Okay, be it resolved that the council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve appointments to the committee as follows. We have the thing, can I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves, Councilor Panchan
second
seconds
it.
it. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I'd just like to make a comment. I believe we should have an alternate to the Red River Planning Board, and Councillor Kleiber should be, since she's, should be put in there as an alternate,
Okay,
She should be put in there,
as an alternate.
but she's on the board already.
no,
No, I'm going on the board, on the list here. It's-
Oh, okay.
so you just wanna switch roles, right? Councilor Bichetti will be on the planning district and Councilor Kleiber will be an alternate.
Okay.
Okay,
I see, okay.
right, okay, so, we'll do that. So, and further to that, attendance of the meeting of said council be approved for the year 2025, and further that the mayor be the ex-official member and has the right to attend, vote, and participate in any of the membership and standing committees. Oh, there was more to it. Be it further reserved, that the deputy mayor be authorized to attend any meeting or event in the absence of the mayor. Please note, attendance of alternate is permitted only when designated person cannot attend. Council appoint in the above committees for the membership only. We're gonna have to ask for a mover again. Mover for that, please. Councilor Bichetti moves, Councilor Campbell seconds it. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, carried. Call for the vote.
Aye.
All in,
Oh, sorry.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried.
This one we're going.
Yep, 15.7, we're going in camera. That leaves, nothing else, so next is going in camera. Be it resolved that in accordance of section 1523 of the Municipal Act, council do now move in camera to discuss matters that are in preliminary stages respecting which discussions in public could prejudice the municipality's ability to carry out its activities or negotiations. Be it further resolved that in accordance with section 83(1)D of the Municipal Act, any issues that are discussed are kept confidential until discussed at a regular council meeting. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton moves, Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay. Okay, so we're at, out of camera, Rising Report is that we discussed the Manitoba Growth Renewal and Opportunities for Manitoba programs. It is now 8:31 PM. We're going to be adjourning the meeting at that time. So be it resolved that the meeting of council stand adjourned at 8:31 PM. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Campbell seconds it. Can I call for the question? Any comments, questions? Hearing none. Call for vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.